Boo. Happy Halloween Part 3. It's the third one. We still haven't even put out the first one.
Oh, my God.
Just cranking them out. But what's scarier? Answer me this. Riddle me this. What's scarier than AI art?
2 AI arts.
Exactly. Now, obviously, people have talked about like the ins and outs of the morality and the ethics and blah, 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 all that kind of shit. Whatever. Obviously, I think it's bad. I agree. Discourse. Continue with the discourse. Sure. I'm not saying stop. But the biggest part of it for me is it just looks like dog shit.
Oh, yeah, always.
Have you seen this?
I've seen stuff that looks exactly like
this
that.
This is Tears for Fears' new like singular album art.
Oh, Tears for Fears? No.
Tears for Fears chose to go for AI because they quote unquote wanted a futuristic look for the album, or whatever.
But then pay someone to do it.
But also, it's like if I were in a band with you and you were like, "Dog, check this shit out. This is the fucking album cover." I would be like, I'm leaving this band. This is the worst thing I've ever laid my eyes on.
It's also corny as fuck, yeah.
But like, even just looking at it,
it looks bad. Yeah,
like,
it looks horrible, but also just the concept in general, corny as fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
well, for those that have not seen it, it's an astronaut standing in a field of sunflowers, and reflecting in his visor is both the sky and the sunflowers. But it just has that unmistakably like perfect 8K like AI look to it. That
way
just,
too smooth, yeah.
Yeah.
And I also saw an article the other day. I can't remember the name of the company, but it's like the leading company in AI generation and stuff like that. Fucking new member on the board is goddamn James Cameron. That's so upsetting. Have you seen this shit with Megalopolis or whatever you say it?
What is it?
Francis Ford Coppola's new movie.
Yeah, but what have I seen? What are you saying? What do you
there
mean? What are you
are
asking me?
certain screenings that you can go to where a guy from the audience gets up and participates in a scene, or is asking Adam Driver on screen questions.
Interesting.
Have you seen a trailer for that yet?
No.
One played before The Substance when I saw it the other day.
It probably played before The Substance, but it left no impression on me at all.
And besides it looking like what we were talking about with the AI art, it looks like a very, very modern movie, which is a look that I don't love. Like, it looks like Moonfall or something The Rock would be in.
Sure.
But parts of it were getting me, and I was just like, okay, this is cool. Frankie, I might go see this. And then the giant fucking cast list popped up at the end, and it was like, Aubrey Plaza, Adam Driver, John Voight. And I was just like, ooh, all right, not going to go see that. I don't know if you know that John Voight's crazy. He basically, the last few things he's done is he does brownface in, like, Baby Genius sequels and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Bad guy, John Voight.
But I just found this album cover, which is why I got quiet, and then you had to do the Francis Ford Coppola thing.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. For this artist, I don't know how you say it, Wheathen?
Sure.
Wheathen? They came out a couple years ago.
Is that AI or no?
I don't think this is AI.
That looks way sicker.
Because it came out in 2020, so I really doubt that it's...
Okay. Yeah,
AI.
then it's probably not. And yeah, being a race car driver instead of a astronaut is
But
way
this is
better.
so close that it's almost like...
Oh, it's 1-to-1. It is against the law. It's copyright infringement for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
This is crazy, and here's the back of the album.
That's so much cooler.
It's way cooler, yeah.
And yeah, that's the biggest thing about AI art, besides it looking like dog shit. Also, not a new original take, just something that I'd like to reinforce publicly. It's all copyright infringement. It's all fucking stealing, and it's dog shit garbage.
Well, Wheathen, Fantasy, great album cover. Compared
Beautiful.
to the Tears for Fears one, the Tears for Fears one looks like, whatever. I'll insert every joke you've ever heard here. It looks like the Temu version. It looks like what Mom says when they say, "Oh, we've got the Tears for Fear album at the home." It looks like what's the other one? Before Temu, what was there?
Wish.
It looks like the Wish.com version. Play the theme song. Eating Soup Alone is a podcast hosted by me, Christopher Crumley, and co-hosted by Nicholas Johnson. We try our best to ramble incoherently about a handful of movies at least once a week.
All right, so
we watched two movies.
We watched two movies again. We're just running these back to back to back to back. Chris,
yeah,
I'm sick of you.
Sick of me?
Sick of Chris. I haven't seen you this much when we lived together. Oh my god, I feel like I've been here every day of my life talking about these goddamn Child's Play movies.
It does feel like you've been
And
here
honestly,
a lot.
Chris, I don't mind it.
Oh,
I'm really having a good. Well, I've mostly been having a really good time.
Did you not like Curse?
No.
I didn't like Curse at all. Curse was really bad.
We'll start with Seed for
I
sure.
like Seed.
Seed was fun.
Seed of Chucky I like.
I think Seed with Chucky is good in a good way.
It's not as good as Bride, but it's a nice end. It's a good end.
A nice litmus test for if I think a movie is good or not. I took 1, 2, 3, 4 notes on Seed of Chucky and then stopped because I was just watching the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, it's not as good as Bride.
No.
But I enjoyed it. Also, I think I mentioned it at the end of the last episode. Still can't wrap my mind around that this movie came out in 2004.
Yeah. I will say cons for Seed of Chucky is there's some spotty shit in terms of like, you know, the humor, like him being called shitface and being in like the UK to be like a puppet and like thinking he's from Japan because the whole Made in Japan thing.
Oh, and the music sting that they play every time he looks at it.
Yeah. And like the beginning, the nightmare he has just doesn't look that good for me personally. It looks out of place to me.
Yeah, I think it could be definitely better.
Yeah.
But there are some things that, like when he stabs the dad and it's the POV all the way down the stairs. Yeah. I like that quite a bit. It's a little too
I wouldn't
choppy.
say it's a bad scene. It just looks odd.
It looks a little strange.
You.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think there's some dated jokes in there because, like, from my understanding, he basically wrote Don Mancini. I was watching a horror like retrospective on Child's Play that I appreciate. It's from a content creator that I definitely appreciate, but he kept saying Mancini instead of Mancini, and it was just driving me nuts every time I hit that ch. I was like, ugh. I could be saying it wrong for all I know, but I've always heard people say Don Mancini.
I watched like a very long video essay about all the Metal Gear games because that's just what I do. If I'm not doing this podcast, I'm watching a video essay about Metal Gear most likely. And this guy, very American, kept saying assume. Make the and you go to this game assuming, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
I hear you.
And it was just driving me up a wall.
Yeah. But the reason why I brought up the timeline thing of like him having written this like almost immediately after Bride is because there's like some like pop culture references that are just dated.
When he rides Britney Spears.
Yeah, Britney Spears. Like in 2004, nobody's paying attention to Britney Spears. Well, probably she was shaving her head, maybe, but that's it.
I think like Toxic came out that year, maybe.
That year?
I'm gonna say it was.
Look up Toxic. What year that came out?
Sure, Britney Spears.com.
That's exactly what you want.
Yeah, in 2003, she did the Like a Virgin performance with Christina Aguilera and Madonna at MTV
on MTV,
which is pretty big. Yeah, and then.
Well, I retract my statement. I'm just saying that that's the one thing that maybe bogs the movie down a little bit is like now in 2024.
January 12th, 2004 is when
no way.
Toxic
so it was a huge year. Look at me standing corrected.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I would say that, and then like I don't know. There's a couple of jokes that just like I said, that's mainly the thing.
Yeah.
But as a whole, I would say there are probably more moments that are like amusing, chuckly than like are duds.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I would say that I really do like my favorite thing about Bride and Seed is that I think Chucky as a character works in that context so well because he's like a Jack Nicholson or like a like animated series like Batman the Animated Series Mark Hamill Joker.
Okay, yeah.
Where in my opinion, my impression of Charles Lee Ray from like the first one through to Seed is that they call him like the South Side or South Shore Strangler or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I know that traditionally like serial killers are usually like weird people in glasses that are like got crazy ideas in their head, like that they could, you know, fuck a bicep and get it pregnant and then make the sex slave for them to have at their house to have sex with that would have no thoughts of its own other than pleasing them.
Just for the listener, Chris is saying this to me and pointing to a notebook with his own handwriting with all these ideas.
And I wear glasses. But I don't get that impression from him. I don't get like Ted Bundy or like, you know what I'm saying? Like when I think of him, he thinks of me like a street criminal that's like just like unhinged. Like if it's you and him, he'll strangle you.
Yeah.
Like to get one over or to like get out of a bind, right? So what I'm trying to say is that like you know, watching him in like Bride and especially like Seed, this is a little bit of a stretch, but it's almost like watching like Jack Nicholson in The Shining or something, like, but just made more humorous than scary.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he's just like just every second he's just like, who the fuck is Martha Stewart? And
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, he's great for it. It's perfect.
He is the impression I've always had of Chucky as a character is like real Spencer's Gifts coded, where I'm like, ugh, he's not. I'm not. I'm not a person that would let people know that I like Chucky because I don't really think that's my kind of thing. But
I love Chucky.
Every time I watch one of these movies, I'm like, I love this little guy. I think he's so much fun.
Yeah, he's just got this he's like a selfish streak. He's just out for himself.
Yeah,
and he has no moral compass, so strangling isn't off the table if he can get one over.
And that's such a thing that could be done poorly and done over the top, like, oh, this guy's a bastard, isn't it funny? But like,
look how often the Joker gets done wrong.
Exactly, but in this, he's a bastard, and it's really funny.
It's very funny. We'll save it for Curse, but I like this movie though.
This movie is, everything you said. I think you hit the nail on the head. There's, I think more so than the other ones, there's more that misses than hits. Yeah. But I still think a majority of this movie hits for me.
What I would like if, I would check out that sci-fi show if it was just like this seed, basically kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. But serialized. Like, I'd love like a horror comedy Chucky that's more funny than scary, just about like a family drama kind of a thing. It's good. I don't know how you'd sustain it, but it's a funny premise.
Especially after Curse, I don't know what the next movies have in store for us. Yeah. Besides the reboot, but after Curse, I was like, I would like to check out the TV show because I know the TV show has returning characters, and I would like to know what happens to everybody after Seed of Chucky.
You know what's strange to me about Curse though? On Onward. Yeah. People generally consider it to be a success.
Oh, okay.
Which is what blows my mind about how far off my sensibilities are from like the vast majority of modern horror enjoyers. Because there's so many things like that I just don't care for that they do. Like, for example, the Platinum Dooms version of the 2009 Friday the 13th. Yeah. Or like any of the Saw movies. Mm-hmm. Or like this Curse movie, which, like I said, generally is seen favorable.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The thing that I felt the most about these Child's Play movies as we're watching them is
the consistency.
They're consistent, but I also don't think any of them are like wholly original. They definitely feel like products of their time and like this is what every other slasher movie is doing, so that's what we're gonna do. Mm-hmm. But it is pitch perfect, and it works so well, and it has enough of its own sauce that I'm like, okay, cool, I like this quite a bit. But for some reason I feel like that's what Curse of Chucky is also doing, but it just falls so flat. Like, I like that Silver Dunes, is that Platinum Dunes? Friday the 13th for what it is.
What's his name? Is it Zack Snyder or is it the other
Michael
guy?
Bay.
Michael Bay, that's right, yeah.
I like that fine enough for what it is because it does also feel like, in a really contrived way, original in what it is. I know they're just like coming off the back of what, like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. Yeah. But it feels like
shot in Texas, so it like just
it feels like the first of those, and I think it works for what it is, and then anything after that I don't like. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what Curse of Chucky feels like, but Seed of Chucky.
Yes, Seed of Chucky.
Directed by Don Mancini. First one, right?
Yeah, this is his directorial debut.
Hey, good on him.
This one lost money, correct?
No.
I'm sure it picked it up on the DVD end.
Budget of $12 million, box office of, what I guess?
19?
25.
Okay.
Which is good. That's more than double.
Lost money, I think.
I can't imagine it did. Because I
was looking it up, and one of them lost money. I think it's Curse.
I'm gonna say, professional guess here. Yeah. Curse of Chucky, budget $9,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Box office probably zero because it came out straight to DVD.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like, just to think about this for a moment. I know it's a totally, vastly different situation because even just the puppets are so expensive to begin with, and then the puppeteers, and I get it, it's very expensive. But when you're just comparing quality to quality, the fact that they spent $10,000 to shoot Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, I think it's the highest like money spent to profit margin by like a country mile.
I would buy
in
that.
Hollywood,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, oh yeah. Everybody saw Paranormal Activity
because it cost $10,000 and went on to make hundreds of millions. I think.
Absolutely.
So.
Let me look that up.
Look it up. I know they ended up posthumously or whatever you want to call it, post-release, like spending hundreds of thousands on promotion, like marketing, but the initial budget for just making the product was $10,000. No clear answers.
It is often cited as the most profitable film ever made based on proportionate return on investment, although such figures are difficult to verify independently as they are likely excluding market costs. On the Wikipedia page, it says production budget $15,000,
Yeah.
box office $194 million.
Yeah, so about $200 million on $15,000 basically.
But post-production budget
It was like $200,000 or $300,000.
$200,000.
Yeah.
So
still crazy.
That's still under $1 million.
Yeah, I mean,
that's insane.
Just really quick.
Curse of Chucky had a budget of $5 million.
Halloween 1978, $300,000.
Yeah, insane.
You know what I'm saying? And that's 1978 money. So for like inflation, that might have been like 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
So still, even including after market, like marketing, you know what I'm saying? Like the $200,000 budget that this has in 2008 bucks. You know?
Insane.
What would that be in $78?
There's no way to find out.
Yeah, you could do deflation calculator, but then we don't need to go that in depth
On a movie that we're not talking about. Yeah, I get that.
Anyways, whatever. So yeah, long story short, shithead Glenn/Glenda. They establish the puppeteer who's like, pretending that he's, puppeting Glenn/Glenda. Says that he found them in an American cemetery.
Okay. Oh yeah, from the last one.
From the last one, yeah.
So did that cop just leave it there?
I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, what would you do?
I'd take it home and raise it as my own.
So he tells some jokes, whatever. He says something like, he was like, the little fucker tried to strangle me. And he's like, I was trying to give you a hug. And everybody goes, ah, ha, 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 ha. Whatever. Kind of falls flat. But I do like, there's like a fly that lands on his hand. He's like, I wouldn't even hug a fly. And then the fly flies off. He's like, oh, there it goes.
Love it.
Off to its family.
It's such a strange choice to make him English,
yeah,
you know?
So strange. And he also looks like David Bowie.
And he does. He looks like David Bowie.
Yeah.
And so where does the British family come in? I know it's a dream.
Yeah, I think that's just a nightmare he's having. I think it's supposed to signify his. I think it's supposed to just signify like his urge to murder that he can't escape.
He in that dream,
which is attached to the female side of his personality.
Oh, right. Because
the Glenda side.
When there is that flash where he sees himself in the mirror and then turns away because he scares himself.
Yeah.
He's got the knife or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the single scariest thing that has happened in any of these movies. That really got me for some reason. He was real spooky in that.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then I want to say, tell me if I'm reading too far into this, when he goes to the bathroom to kill mom, British mom, looks like the bathroom from The Shining, yeah? Where he sees a naked lady?
Something like that.
It looked like it to me.
Yeah, I can't recall into my memory, but okay.
Okay, well, it was a lot of fun. I liked it.
Oh, you saw the substance. Speaking of that hallway in there, I feel like that was a nice piece of foreshadowing in the substance, because the substance hallway from the substance looks like Shining.
Gotcha.
And the whole time I was like, bathed in blood, bathed in blood, bathed in blood. And then, no spoilers, but bathed in blood.
Bathed in blood, yeah.
Kind of like the hotel scene with the elevator.
Yeah.
That was a nice bit of foreshadowing. And then again, soft spoilers, very soft spoilers, but the way that the movie begins with someone dropping all that goop on the star, and then it ends with a big goopy thing on the star. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
We can talk about it later, though. Are we
I
locking that in as our...
I want to do a full episode on substance.
Okay, yeah. We can talk about the substance.
Absolutely.
I'll see it a second time.
Me too, buddy. Me too. So, yeah. Ventriloquist Shathid. I don't remember how he ends up in Hollywood.
He sees a commercial for the new Chucky movie, and he's
okay.
Mom and Dad. Because he sees, like, the Made in Japan or something. Whatever.
Gotcha,
Who knows? Whatever.
The fake movie got me.
Oh, yeah? You weren't expecting it?
Well, as soon as it happened, I was like, oh, I remember, but...
Fuck with your mind. Fuck with your mind.
Like, I remember that very specifically, too.
But he was like, oh, the doll's broken again.
When the Santa showed up, I was just like, ooh, a Christmas time Chucky? That's fun. How have they not done that?
I know, yeah, because toys.
Yeah, because toys, exactly.
Because toys. And Santa, what does he do?
Make it a toys.
He does toys, yeah.
But also at the same time, they're making a joke in a Child's Play movie of like how ridiculous it would be if we did a Christmas time one, right? I would love it.
Yeah. It's like how much Sean Cunningham refuses to do a Friday the 13th in the snow, and I love that they make a
Friday the 13th in general now.
I love that they make a point when they're talking about Jason X of him being like, no, like when he talks about like, you know, and they were talking about like, let's do it in the snow or let's do it in this, let's do it in that, and then someone said space, and it's like, do you have brain damage? Why would?
Hey, actually, you know what? That's the worst idea I've ever heard. Let's nail that down. Let's
exactly, yeah. Because like again, I am a Jason Goes to Hell defender. But on like people have gone on record as saying as like the guy who made it, I think his name's Adam Marcus or something, the guy who wrote the thing, is saying that like Sean was very adamant about like, I fucking hate the whole hockey mask thing. Can we just like find a way to not have Jason be like hockey? It's like, what? Why do you even have the rights to this fucking thing?
Yeah, that's crazy. I hate the thing that we could easily put on T-shirts and make billions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, like in the snow, put this motherfucker in space. Why do you think space would work? What
crazy. And they just give him a different hockey mask.
Just give him a different hockey mask and put him in the fucking desert.
No, I'm saying that's what they do. They give him a different hockey mask in that one.
But you know, I don't care. Jason accidentally got picked up out of the. Oh my gosh! Here's a pitch for you. Well, you remember the beginning of Magnolia where that like scuba diver ends up in the pine tree because he got scooped up trying to fight the wildfire? You know, do that, but accidentally drop him in the desert or something. Now it's Jason in the desert. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, but not space.
I love that.
Get him out of space. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. Whatever you got to do to get Jason somewhere else.
Jason in the desert, but it's like the desert that no one goes to. So he's just been out there alone for 10 years, not seeing a single person. Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, and you know what else is scary to me? I'm just spitballing.
Yeah.
How flat it is. So you could see someone coming for a long time.
Yeah.
And just that idea of like, what is that? Is that someone coming our way? And then it's Jason Voorhees eventually?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you get a montage of him over that decade of him being straight in the desert, of just cars driving by him and him just slashing at it once. He's like, okay, all right.
Next time, I guess. Anyways, whatever.
So they're shooting that movie.
Yes.
One of the production designers has a Jackass t-shirt on, so you know that it is 2003.
Yes, undeniably.
Also, I had that shirt in high school.
Nice.
Far after 2003. And I got into a lot of trouble because I said Jackass on it. And then I had two teachers fighting each other about it. Because one teacher made me go get tape from the office to cover up the word ass.
Yeah.
And then my art teacher was just like, did someone make you cover that up? I went, yeah, Miss So-and-so did. He goes, there's a kid that walks around. There was a very cool kid who I went to high school with. I went to an art high school for 1 year, who had a t-shirt of Ronald Reagan with a bullet hole in his forehead. Yeah. And no one said anything about it. He's like, if he can do that, you can wear this shirt. I'll go have a word with her. I was just like, I don't want that. I don't want any of this. Anyway.
Well.
Shithead shows up.
Yes.
He finds them. He has the amulet.
Of Dembala.
And he reads the back of it.
Ade Dewey Dembala.
And I really...
Power. I beg of you. Awake.
It is something that used to bother me as these movies were going on. Not bother me, but like I was like, no, that's a little strange. But now that I like it when it comes to Seed of Chucky. In the first one, he can't get into Andy's body because that spell is paragraphs long.
I know.
And he has to finish it with, give me the power that I want, please, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I like by the time it gets to this, he reads the back of it and goes, oh, our family motto, a boobadoo, a boobadoo. And whatever powers that be in voodoo go, good enough. Don't even know what you're asking for. You're not asking for your soul to go in this body. I'll just put your parents' soul back in these bodies.
I just saw a clip from the show where Chucky's just sitting in a doctor's office. And the doctor is like,
see the show.
And the doctor's like, yeah, sorry, you're like, he doesn't say this. I'm spitballing. He's like, yeah, you're fucked. Sorry, you're just you're gonna die. He's like, what? I can't die. He's like, yeah. He's like, the Dembala's like abandoned you now. He doesn't want you anymore. And he's like, what?
Crazy.
So I'm just mortal now. You like that kind of thing.
That's good. Yeah, that's got. I think you've said it already, but has huge Ash versus the Evil Dead vibes to me.
Yeah. Anyway, so now we're on set cinema, and
I also like this idea that the new dolls are the ones from the movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how they get their bodies back.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Also, the guy that gets his head cut off here, best fake head I've seen in a movie, maybe ever.
Yeah, pretty good. And I think this is the guy who actually made the dolls.
Good. That's cool. That's cool for him.
Yeah. Jennifer Tilly comes in.
Yeah, no, Tiffany doesn't come in. Jennifer Tilly comes in, yeah.
And she's trying to sneak a little candy bar. She's got like an assistant, and she's trying to get this role with Redman as like the Virgin Mary. She's supposed to be on a diet, so she's eating her little candy bar. And she also goes, wow, this is the most realistic fake head I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah, it's great.
Until she kisses it and realizes, oh, this is a really actually dead man.
I think it might be my biggest takeaway from all these Child's Play movies is God damn, I love Jennifer Tilly. Put Jennifer
fun.
Tilly in more stuff.
Yeah,
She's great.
She's so fun.
And like a lot of the like jokes or the jabs at her in this movie are arguably not great. They're pretty like, okay, that was a pretty easy joke, but for some reason Jennifer Tilly just fucking sells all of it, and I love it. It's just like,
I remember seeing a talking head where she's talking about doing the meta comedy thing of like playing herself and also playing a character, and she was talking about how she told like the screenwriter to like go all out, and she was like, and the studio sent the script back because they were like, this is too mean, we need people to still like Jennifer Tilly.
That's very funny. But like just all the stuff of like when Tiffany and Chucky see Jennifer Tilly, and Chucky's like, oh God, her, that voice, and she's like, I know, isn't it dreamy or something like that. I'm like, that's great. That's all so much
like
fun.
when she's eating the candy bar, she says something like, I've never seen someone eat something so beautiful or something like that, beautifully or whatever.
It's great.
There's she's like, when she knocks her out later on and she's dragging her, she's like, oh my God, she's fat. She's like, she's not even pregnant yet or something like that. But
it's fun. And that would be like, if I heard that in any other movie, I'd be like, I'd roll my eyes in the back of my head. There are a few times in this movie where I want to roll my eyes back into my head, and then they save it at the last second. Like I think very specifically, skipping to the end where Chucky's chasing Glenn and Tiffany, and he smashes through the door with an axe like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. And he puts his head through, and it just sits there for so long, and he goes,
I can't think of a thing to say.
It's so fucking funny. So I will get there when we get there. But she kisses the dead head, and then immediately realizes it's a real head.
Right.
And she goes outside, gets swarmed by paparazzi.
One of my favorite yucks in this is John Waters as a paparazzo.
Exactly.
He's like,
so
Jennifer, what happened? Can you tell me? And she says something like, I can draw you a picture or something like that. Really? Could you? Someone get her a pen and paper?
So fucking funny. Just Jennifer, how old are you? What year were you born?
It's so funny.
Oh God, I love that man.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we go right from here to. Oh no, we missed. They ask. Also, just a weird jump in logic when they see Glenn for the first time. Chucky keeps making a bunch of jokes about how ugly he is. Yes. And it's just like, God, who are this kid's parents or whatever? Yeah, it's like, hey Chuck, he's a doll.
Yeah, you guys are the only two dolls.
You're the only two people in the world who could be the parents of this kid.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh,
I never even thought about that, but yeah, you're right.
Are you a boy or a girl? And then they take Glenn's pants down, and they have no genitalia.
Yeah.
And I think just the weirdest decision made in this movie is they lay Glenn down to take their pants off instead of just having Glenn drop their pants for some reason.
Yeah. I will say, even though a big part of the plot is like that Chucky wants them to be like a son, and the other one wants them to be like a daughter or whatever, I will say more often than not, Chucky is saying things like, let the kid do whatever the kid wants. You definitely like, and that was like kind of a cool thing where it's like, so that's what I'm talking about with the Chucky thing, where like, it's like, he's not out of his fucking mind. You get what I'm saying? He's just like...
He is, but just not in every way possible.
Exactly. Yeah. There's still some humanity in there a little bit. But anyways,
And I think, this is where we get to... I think the main plot of this movie is that Chucky's going to be... Tiffany's going to get into Jennifer Tilly's body.
Yes, and they're going to put Chucky into Redman's body, which is the second time that he's tried to get transferred into an African-American person's body.
Never in a million years would I imagine watching Child's Play 1 from 1980 or whatever.
That eventually he'd be trying to get into
Redman's.
Redman's.
Eventually, one of the plots of these movies is that Chucky is trying to become Redman.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Also, a fun bit that I like is that every now and then Jennifer Tilly will call him Redman.
Yes.
Which is it just made me giggle every time.
Yeah.
But that's their main goal. They're hiding our way in her house, and then Glenn is like, hey, why do you guys kill people? And then it becomes like a weird like, hey, Mom
she
and
doesn't
Dad,
want to do killing anymore.
Yeah,
Jennifer Tilly, no. Well, I mean, Tiffany, no.
The Mom and Dad are addicts, and they're trying to quit cold turkey, but Dad doesn't want to do it, and that's a little strange.
Yeah.
Chucky, that little rascal, has his fingers crossed behind his back, and he says, "All right, I'll stop." And then, I don't know. There's just like a lot of fucking around in this movie until.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're just in this house, really. I mean, they go out and about sometimes, but excuse me. Jennifer Tilly Oh yeah, golly. It's yeah. There's this huge thing that happens where Chucky has to jerk off into a cup because Tiffany is gonna put the cum turkey baster style inside of Jennifer Tilly, so that Jennifer Tilly can make a bait for Glenn or Glenda. And while that's happening, John Waters is outside photographing the Redman Jennifer Tilly affair.
Yes.
And he starts to, in the upper hand corner, he goes, a masturbating midget, which is just, of course you give that to John Waters. That's the line you give to John Waters for sure.
Yeah,
I saw Pink Flamingos. That's what this guy's into. And he also sees Tiffany getting involved in the Redman situation because she's very disappointed in Jennifer Tilly for like trying to basically sleep her way up the ladder.
Yeah.
And she scolds her for it. Which I love in the morning when Jennifer Tilly's like, my guardian angel came to me. She had the voice of an angel. She told me to...
That's so good.
She told me to have more self-respect.
I hate to admit it, but maybe the best that this movie got me is Chucky jacking off. Like, I don't know. It's so fucking...
That scene goes out of nowhere. He's like, aren't you going to give me a hand? And then she dumps her doll boobs.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. This movie's crazy.
But... it's like such like bottom of the barrel, just like gallows humor, but just like, what if Chucky was jacking off and just cutting to him going, ah! I don't think anyone has been alone getting it that good by themselves ever, that they're just going, oh yeah.
And then again, it's just the icing on the cake that John Waters is outside taking pictures of it.
Yeah, love it. And then I think from there, Chucky runs Britney Spears off the road because he's taking Glenn to go kill John Waters.
Yes.
And great kill here. They drop sulfuric acid onto John Waters'
what's happening
head.
is Glenn or Glenda pushes John Waters to like try to save him from Chucky, and then accidentally bumps him into the shit. And so Glenn or Glenda feels horrible because they're like, this is not what I meant to do. It was an accident. And Chucky's just like, you're a fucking natural. And they take a selfie.
Love it.
Yeah.
Then Tiffany has a relapse where she just decides, you know what? I'm gonna have a little treat. I'm gonna kill Redman.
She's really mad at Redman because the way that he's treating her when Jennifer's like, I'm pregnant, Redman. He's like, great, dumb bitch. And she's like, well, it's got to be you. I haven't slept with anybody in a year. Like I pretend to be a sex pot because it helps me get these roles, but like I haven't had any sex with anybody else. He's like, that's great, but I got a vasectomy when I came to Hollywood, so you're not getting that role anymore either. And she's like, what? The Virgin Mary is pregnant. And he's like, yeah, but I got a specific vision for her. So, you dumb bitch. And then the Tiffany is like seeing red, like I'm gonna kill Redman.
Yeah. And she cuts his guts out through
which is gross because his guts is hot. His
guts is hot and steamy. And
when I was a kid, that fucked me
up
so bad. I hated that.
As an adult man, it fucked me up real bad. It's the steamy guts is a real nice choice.
They steam forever.
They steam for a real long time, and I think it's great. And
I love the whole time that like Jennifer Tilly keeps popping in to be like, yeah, you're an asshole, and I hope you go fucking die. And then she like leaves, and he like hits the table because he's dead. He's been killed by a doll.
Also, you just happen to just know because I have the movie playing on my computer right now while we're doing this. In Bride of Chucky, Tiffany, as a human, has a tattoo on her boob that says Chucky with a big heart.
Uh-huh.
And then, she becomes a doll and obviously doesn't have it. The doll in this one has it.
Yeah. She drew it on herself when she was getting herself the goth makeup in the first one.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
Then we see Martha Stewart getting arrested. That's fun.
Yeah, this is my second favorite joke.
Martha Stewart.
They're laying in bed and she just so casually goes, they're executing Martha Stewart today. That's a funny. 10 out of 10 S tier. Hit the air horns. But yes, the Wikipedia very specifically says he fires Jennifer from his film, dismissing pregnant women as not attractive enough for his vision. Tiffany guts Redman in anger over his misogyny, which Glenn/Glenda witnesses. And then Chucky's like, I gotta wait 9 months, and then she's like, no, silly, it's a voodoo pregnancy, it's expedited or whatever.
Yeah.
Which explains like the plot hole in the last one where some people do kind of go like, how did she give him birth already? They just fucked like 2 days ago. So yeah, Jennifer Tilly wakes up and she's just full blown 9 months, big belly.
and they decide to use the driver, I guess, because Redman's dead, so Chucky's just going to be that guy.
Yeah, because there's that point where he's like, I'm tired of hiding in the closet, and then he hits the thing, and Redman falls out, and he's like, oh man, you've been telling me to give it up, and you've been having your own little fun, And then he accidentally drops like a picture on the ground of dead John Waters, and she's like, what the heck is this? I think I flipped those. Those two happen opposite.
Yes, you're right.
But so I love this little lovers quarrel. This is a perfect example of like this setup is so good because like that comedy is so funny to me of just like Chucky and his little killer doll bride, like she's like, you son of a bitch, you gotta stop killing. Meanwhile, she's got a dead body. And it's good. It's good. It's a good bit. It's all great. It's all good.
And I really love. We're basically we're at the scene where they're tied to the bed and she gives birth to the kids. I really like where they're all arguing about it. Like, oh, hurry up, say the spell so we can put us in the body. And Jennifer Tilly's like, no, don't do it. And my kids. And they're arguing about like which one's Glenn gonna go into. And they're yelling, going back and forth. And then Chucky goes, oh my god, everybody, I'm so fucking sick of this. Everybody stop.
Yeah.
We're dolls and we're killing people. Okay, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. He's like, why do I even want to be human? You get sick, you got to pay taxes. He's like, I'm Chucky. I'm king of the dolls. I'm a legendary slasher.
I love it. And then
it's great.
He becomes the antagonist of this movie because like they've been the main characters, but like also the antagonists, and it's good. And I think it's right before this. I can't seem to find it because I wanted to get the wording right. I think when you learn that there are twins, they're having an argument of like whether Glenn is going to be a boy or a girl, and they're just yelling at each other. And Glenn goes, wait a second. Hasn't anyone for a second thought about what I think? And
you put it aside. Chucky goes, interesting.
Yeah, Chucky goes, interesting.
Yeah, so
like, because it's so genuine. Like, oh, I actually have not thought about that until right now.
Yeah, exactly. And he's totally open to hearing it.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's just so many interesting Chucky moments like that where it's like, I love that Chucky's just like, yeah, what do you want, man? Like, it's so good.
You know what? I haven't thought about it from that point of view.
Exactly, yeah. And so, the other thing, too, is that this is written out here, which I've never fully grasped, but it makes the ending make more sense. Jennifer's assistant, Joan, tries to help, but she's killed by Glenda, revealing that Glenn and Glenda are actually two separate souls in the same body.
Oh,
and so that's how they're able to go into one boy twin and one girl twin at the end.
Gotcha, okay.
I don't remember how they killed Chucky.
I can tell you. I can...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Glenda, or Glenn, I can't remember which, but probably Glenda, because Glenda's the murdered one, chops him up. Head off, arms off, legs off. That's what's and then his dying words are, "Attaboy."
Love it.
Great. Fantastic. And then, I will say the end is a bit weird. I mean, it's decent concept, but it's just pulled off weird because it just looks weird. Like, they made the kid look like Glenn.
Yeah.
And that's just weird, but basically it ends with, like, Tiffany having gotten into Jennifer Tilly's body, and Glenn and Glenda both now exist as two separate children.
Yeah, and I didn't get that until you read right now, though. Yeah, it being two different people inside Glenn as a doll, but because what I had thought originally was just like, okay, so Glenn went into the boy, and then Chucky's the girl? But then Chucky's arm grabs him at the end, and I was just like, oh, okay, I guess not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes way more sense. All right, cool.
Because I guess voodoo. That's why two souls. Which is fine.
Yeah, fuck it. I don't give a shit. Yeah, do voodoo, do whatever. Yeah. I'm watching the end right now, and I'd like to bring up that the end credits I fucking love. We need to do little montages of every character's scenes while we're doing the credits again.
So good.
I love it's such a nice touch. I'm watching it right now. Everybody's name comes up next to their dead body.
Yeah.
I love that they do Jennifer Tilly, and then they do a bunch of shots, and it says Jennifer Tilly, and then they do a bunch of shots of Tiffany, and it says Jennifer Tilly. I like that Jennifer Tilly gets two. That's very cool.
Yeah. I'm going to give Seed of Chucky. I've gave the first two, I think, like C pluses or something. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give this one a C minus. It's close, but, just a little off.
I'm gonna go right there with you. I'm going to give it a C minus.
Yeah. And then Curse of Chucky.
Yeah, so then we watch Curse of Chucky.
I have notes.
I do too. At one point, Chris... do you think you realized, hey, this is probably on the Sci-Fi Channel? That was my thought almost immediately. It was just like, hey, why does this movie look so bad?
You called it immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, just the way the house looks, it's just, this was direct-to-video, so was Seed of Chucky. But
oh god, it's so cool to see and Brad Dourif in the credits.
yeah. Are you playing the movie now?
Oh my god, I'm looking at still watching the end of Seed. I'll play it right now.
Okay, so right off the bat, I want to just touch on what I kept alluding to. We'll just jump ahead, or maybe we'll save it. Let's save it, actually. Beginning, Tim Burton house. That's the first thing I wrote down.
Big spooky castle, for sure, yeah.
Lady in wheelchair. Gets hit on by the UPS driver dropping off the Chucky. Obviously, you knew it was the Chucky. I knew it was the Chucky. Everybody knew it was the Chucky.
Everybody. Guy driving the truck knew it was Chucky.
And then I wrote down Mommy Cocky Blocky.
Yes. Our main character, Brad Dourif's daughter, fun fact.
Yeah.
There was a bit that me and my friends used to like to do in middle school. We would pretend to have Russian accents. And that's
I still do that.
It's fun, and a big part of it that we thought was really funny was adding an A on the end of Krisa.
Okay.
Oh, Peter. Like, just like that.
Yeah.
And we realized very quickly we couldn't do that with my name.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
That's that character's name in this movie.
Oh, Nika. Yeah.
Her name is Nika.
Yeah.
And the amount of times she says something and someone doesn't believe her and they go, Nika, please. I'm like, this has to be intentional.
That's very funny. I didn't clock that once, but that's funny.
That's all I could think about this whole movie.
Yeah.
I was like, name her Mika, for God's sake. Like, I don't think Nika...
Funny, I think that's the guy's name.
Is anybody's name.
I think Mika is the name of the guys in Paranormal Activity, so that's a little bit of coincidence. I wrote down, don't like the setup at all. And this is before I knew it was coming. Yeah. But I just did not like this weird, creepy Edward Scissorhands house.
Yeah.
Where wheelchair daughter and mom live alone, and someone randomly mails the good guy doll, and they just keep it. Yeah. If someone mailed that to you, I don't know why they're just like, oh, let's put it on a chair.
They don't. They do the same thing that everybody does when they get a Chucky. It happened in The Dream in the last movie, and I thought it was strange, but then it was a dream. But I think it's happened, this might be the second time it happens. They get mailed the doll, and they go, meh, and they throw it away. I cannot in a million, I wouldn't take it and put it on a shelf somewhere, but I think if somebody mailed me something like that, I would go, wrong address, should probably try to figure out where this is supposed to go.
I would take it back to the damn,
or I would go, I probably know someone who has a kid who would want this. I wouldn't no, I don't think anyone would just toss it. That seems strange to me.
I don't think I would toss it either, but I'm just saying, I don't think I would just be like, huh, interesting, and throw it on a chair is what I'm saying. That's,
exactly.
Blasé, nonchalant,
exactly,
just meh, whatever. I feel like I'd be like, what the fuck? I'd be trying to call people and be like, did you send a doll to my fucking house? What? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
But anyways, we're
Mom has a pill problem, which I thought was going to come in at some point, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
She is just 9 minutes into this movie dead. Sorry, 6.5 minutes into this movie
middle of the
dead.
night. Nika wakes up and is just like, oh, God, Mom, in pool of blood.
And no one thinks it's her.
Right.
Maybe she's pushed. I can't really remember.
So, again, this is the setup that I don't like also. So, now, suddenly, her sister, who she doesn't get along with, is going to come stay at the house because she thinks she wants to sell the house because she doesn't think that, or at least move there because wheelchair.
Mom's dead. That's why she's there.
I know, yeah. But what I'm saying is what I don't like is it's now she comes in, and I get it. It's not supposed to be pleasant, but I'm just not really fucking with I don't really like the main character to begin with, and now you got her annoying sister there with her husband who also whatever annoys me. And the kid that is just whatever. And then the sister brought a priest.
Yes.
And so then it has this setup where Chucky poisoned one of the soups and they're all sitting at the
They brought their au
table.
pair as well.
Yeah, their au pair also, whatever.
Before we get too far, I do like... I like it and I don't like it because our main character... 100% of this movie is based on people not communicating well in a way that people in real life wouldn't.
Right.
Which drives me up a fucking wall in movies where it's just no, you don't understand. It's oh, I understand perfectly well. No, you have to listen to me. Oh, I think I've heard enough. And it's that's this whole movie.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying. But,
which is something that only happens in movies.
I think it's a good argument from older sister when she comes and she's like, listen, Mom left the house to both of us.
Yeah.
Here's an assisted living home that is near us And listen, I know you're like, she doesn't do it this well at all. She's a huge bitch about it, but I think it makes perfect sense to be like, listen, you live in a big spooky castle.
Yeah.
And I know you're willing and able by yourself, and this place has a big spooky elevator that you can get up and down the stairs with. But this house is fucking giant.
Yeah.
You yourself, who doesn't have a job, cannot take care of this house.
Yeah.
And also, it's worth a lot of money, and my husband just lost his job. We should sell this house.
Yeah.
I buy that perfectly well.
Sure.
Also, Chris, I know what you're probably thinking. This sister, I know her from somewhere, but where?
No.
I'll let you know. She plays Freya, the Witch of the Woods, in God of War 2018.
Oh.
And this movie confirms something that I thought from playing those games.
That she was a little cutie?
She's a little cutie, yeah. She has a different face because it's a video game. But
what was the suspicion you had?
She's a really good actress if you know how to direct people. I think in the first God of War game, she's really good because she plays, Odin's ex-wife and the leader of the Aesir gods or whatever, who has been confined to this realm, and so she can only live in these woods, and she's real angry and bitter, but also kind of sweet to all the animals and stuff like that. And she has a few moments throughout the story where she kind of lets it out for a second, and it's ooh, that was really good and really powerful. Yeah. And then in the next game, just 1,000 fucking monologues from this lady, and I was just way too fucking much. And I kind of felt that way in this movie too, but the opposite. I was just not enough. This woman is a much better actress, and she gets nothing to work with in this movie. It's a huge bummer. But then we get to, I would say conservatively, 30% of this movie is people eating chili.
Let me say this really quick. Everything you just said is fine, but it's just what the fuck with all that? The first one did so much with single mom with kid, can't afford doll. The second one did so much with, now kid is in foster home because mom crazy, right? This thing with the wheelchair, mom has died, house, now sister wants to sell also, and her husband lost his job, and also they're on the brink of a divorce, and also they have an affair, but the guy is not sleeping with the affair, she's sleeping with the affair, and also the mom and the wheelchair lady both lost their religion, but the sister didn't, so the sister brings around a priest. You know what I'm saying? There's just a little shit going on where it's why? Why do I this? What this is Child's Play 7.
Yeah, and then
none of this needs to be happening.
And then they tie in at the end. Hey, our main character is Chucky's daughter.
Yeah,
fucking, we'll get there. But you're right. There's way too much happening in this movie, but also it feels like
that's what I'm trying to say.
Nothing is happening.
That's what I'm trying to say about that. I don't like the setup at all because it's what are we doing here? What is all this?
Yeah,
this is the time where no offense to Don Mancini, I know he got it in him, but if he showed me this draft and was what do you think is a friend? I'd be dude, you gotta scrap this and start over, come up with a new Chucky idea because not trying to be mean, but you thought this way too. Just throw this one out. Start again.
Yeah.
Clean it up. This is crazy.
I'd read that script and be oh, Don, hey.
Less.
Not to
wheel it back.
I'm not saying that I think you should tread on your old work, but remember at the end of Child's Play 2 where the Chucky doll gets shredded up in that machine?
Yeah.
Do that with this script. And then do a new one.
But yeah, not in a mean way. It's just this is one of those things where it's
I think...
Ooh, shelve that one. Just do another one.
I was giving this movie a lot of shit for looking bad and costing very little money to make. I don't think having a big budget would have saved this movie.
No.
Or would have made me enjoy this movie.
Yeah, so they watched some old, after the chili
hold
happens.
On. Oh, no, I have to talk about the chili. I'm so sorry.
Whatever, I don't want to talk about the chili at all, but go ahead. Just know that, go ahead.
They sit down.
Forever.
First things first.
They think it's suspenseful, is the girl gonna try it? She's oh, this tastes weird. And
the au pair goes, I love chili. No one's ever said that.
And then the guy goes oh my god, I love chili too.
I got a lot of food notes on this movie. Before mom dies, she tells daughter, hey, well, after you do what you gotta do, let's spend some time together tonight, all right? I'll make tuna melts.
She does say tuna melts.
There's no way to get me to get away from you faster than by you saying, I'll make tuna melts.
Are you serious? I make a mean tuna melt.
There are no two grosser words you can put next to each other than tuna and melts in my eyes.
On God, I make a killer tuna melt.
And then they're eating this chili.
You don't even want to engage in the tuna melt conversation. Eat the chili. Let's talk about the chili.
Listen, I'm gonna say something to you that is something that it's an opinion that I have.
Yeah. Tuna's for cats? Is that what it is? Go ahead, say it.
Deep down... No, we're not. We're off tuna.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Deep down...
You don't want to engage with tuna at all. No tuna discourse.
Listen, I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
And I know deep down in my heart that this is something wrong with me.
Okay.
And I am wrong.
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah.
Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I think eating is a shameful thing that we should all be doing in private. So when I see in a movie close-up shots of people eating and I hear their mouths smacking together,
like watching someone take a dump or jerk off,
in silverware clinking against their teeth, I want to jump out of my skin.
That's fair.
It's so fucking gross to me.
Yeah.
And by the way, anyone I know who knows me in real life, just to be clear,
don't eat around me.
I'm not watching people eating and going, you fucking pigs.
Pig,
I don't think about it when other people are eating, but when I see it in a movie, I'm like, I am watching someone shit basically right now, and it's so gross to me.
Yeah.
I pay no attention to people eating in real life.
Go ahead and talk about the chili.
But they're eating this chili, and they're all going, oh my god, this chili's so fucking
good. And I'll
good.
tell you this right now, I love chili.
Yeah.
Nobody in real life gives a fuck about chili. Like when I'm like, let's make a big bowl of chili, they're usually like, what the fuck is wrong with you? This isn't 1890. We're not peasants.
Yeah, why would you want slop? Exactly.
Like I love chili.
If I went to someone's big mansion and they went, good news, I made slop, I'd be like, I have to go. Bad year for
you? Did you lose your job or something?
Yeah, exactly. I got somewhere to be.
I'm sorry. Did the second depression finally hit?
And they spent so much time. Chucky poisoned it. They spent so much time talking about how good it is, and they're just eating it, and they're eating it, and they're eating it, and at some point the daughter goes,
it tastes funny.
After talking about how good it is, going, this tastes funny.
What did he poison it with?
And they all go, yeah, this tastes funny. I don't know.
Because there's a point where she's like, they're like, oh, is there meat in this? And it's like, did he put mom in it?
Maybe. I don't know.
But anyways, eventually.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then eventually, Priest starts sweating and goes,
he's like, oh, gotta go.
Oh, fuck, you know what? I gotta go. And I was like, can he sense evil? Is that what's happening? And then he gets decapitated in a car accident because of that? Because he was poisoned, which led to a decapitation?
Yeah.
Anyway, they go watch old movies because I guess...
They watch old home movies, yeah. And I will say young Charles Lee Ray looking quite a bit like The Room.
Looking quite a bit like old Charles Lee Ray.
Looking a lot like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, absolutely. He looks like Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau? Yeah.
But they're watching these movies.
I wrote down young Charles Lee Ray looks as bad as new Chucky.
They're watching these home movies that are from 1987.
Yeah.
That look like the Zapruder film.
Right.
Like it's like I guess aesthetically it works, but like just the big quack, 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 quack of the thing in the home movies with no sound was very strange to me. Very, very
Here's
strange.
my first important note. We're substantially through this film. And this is a good example of why I think I would go on record, and I've said it on the podcast before, and I'll say that I'm wrong. I'll eat my shorts. I've agreed with people who... But one of my favorite things about the first Child's Play now is that I know that the doll's possessed, and I know who the doll's possessed by.
Yes.
And I think the movie would not be good, period, if it was like, oh, is the doll possessed? Because that's not what makes Child's Play work. What makes Child's Play work is Brad Dourif. That he's, like I said, this Jack Nicholson unhinged, like, yeah, you dirty slut, I'll teach you to fuck with me. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Great. And so with this film, I understand that I have 6 films that basically are that opening scene of the original for me. But we're this far in, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Why is the Chucky doll here? And so I literally wrote down, I was like, I wish I had more backstory in the beginning. Because this is a perfect example of like why it's probably good to throw like 10 minutes in the beginning that give me some fucking idea as to what Chucky is doing, or like why he's at this Tim Burton house, you know?
Yeah, I wrote down right here exactly in my notes as well. I don't want to watch this movie.
Yeah, because at this point I don't care. I don't like all I'm watching at this point is some shitty movie about a lady in a wheelchair whose mom died, so now she can't live alone. So her sister, who sucks, is there with her husband who lost his job and is about to lose his marriage, and there's an au pair there, and she's lesbian sexing the wife, and also the wife brought a priest along because she's into God, but her sister's not into God.
I wrote down, whoa, gay twist. I liked the gay twist.
Sure, but it was a fucking like long walk off a short pier, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was a lot of setup to get there, you know what I'm saying?
That was the most like... in a very funny way, dismissive I've ever seen you ever. Sure, but
yeah, because I thought about it too. I was like, earlier when we were talking, I was like, yeah, it's kind of fun that it was that instead of the guy. But yeah, sure. But like,
also,
we took a long fucking time to get there. Like,
and it does not pay off.
No, that's what I was saying.
The only thing
you're wasting my time.
It's a waste of my time because it leads up to what my biggest complaint of this movie is.
Yeah.
Is it's just so the dad can go, I put a camera in the doll so that when her sister goes.
Yeah.
you don't know what's in the doll. She goes,
Yeah.
oh, I know exactly what's in the doll.
Which
That's
also-
all that was there for.
Also sets up two of the weirdest scenes to me, which is the one where the wife and the au pair are like Skype stripping together
They're
from other rooms. They're in the same
They're
house.
jacking off on Skype together. One, next to her husband in bed.
Yeah.
But two, and most egregiously, the au pair is next to their daughter in bed.
Yeah. Yeah. And it also sets up like weird...
Also, you're in a Tim Burton mansion. Either A, go Skype in 2 different rooms, or go a mile down the house and fuck each other in a different room. I don't understand.
The other thing, too, is that it sets up like him, Chucky, or whatever. No, not Chucky. Yeah, Chucky, because the live feed. At one point we see live feed. It just sets up weird like Skype / camera in Chucky Halloween Resurrection, like, ooh, it's the future, so now we can have like, what? Me personally, there doesn't need to be a single camera in a Chucky movie.
Set off an EMP at the beginning of every Child's Play movie, so there's
adds
no
nothing.
technology. I don't give a shit.
It adds nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Give me a Predator Prey style prequel where Chucky gets transported to
the
caveman
1300s. I don't give a fuck. But what I'm trying to say is, like, have you ever watched one of these movies and been like on the screen, you know, Red Man
God.
is like, oh shit, Chucky's behind you. And have you ever been like, oh my god, Jennifer Tilly, Chucky is behind you? You know, like, no, stop it with the camera thing. Like, no, it's never worked. It never will work. Stop it.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work. I do like
Did you write down 1800s on a sheet of paper?
yes, because I want to get back to it. I do like the
You
visual.
got a good pitch for Child's Play 1800s?
Yes, I'm gonna give it to you in a second. I do like the visuals of Chucky running in the background and being like, "Oh, is that him?"
Yeah, but you don't need the camera to do that. Like,
No,
he scurries
exactly,
along,
exactly.
and like you're like, oh shit, like I love when Chucky scurries. In fact, he doesn't scurry enough in these films.
Exactly.
He should
Oh,
be
look at that
scurrying
little guy
everywhere.
go. It's great.
I love that he's like, don't fuck with the Chuck. Chicka, 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 chicka.
Love
He's
it.
like Stewie.
He's exactly like
Stewie.
So I think a great
Victory
pitch.
is mine. Okay.
I think a great pitch for Chucky's Jason X.
Yeah.
If we're just going, oh,
Blast
he
him
gets
into space.
getting blasted into space, something on that level, throw Chucky into a chime machine.
Yeah.
And little Chucky has to run around in the 1800s.
Okay.
In Victorian times. I don't know
Yeah.
if Victorian times are the 1800s.
Because he
I'm
also
sorry.
could work as like an Ash character where he's like, I'm just trying to get home.
Exactly.
And then,
but have him hide with a bunch of creepy
Wait.
little porcelain dolls, Victorian
this
era
out.
porcelain dolls.
and as a little side gag, when he gets back to the future,
Too.
he realizes that he's responsible for the. This is a little side gag. He's responsible for the murders that are like he did the murders that people is like, oh, Jack the Ripper did
Yes,
that.
he's Jack the Ripper.
He's Chuck the
Yes,
Ripper.
yes, yes, Chuck the
Yeah.
Ripper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, I think we really got something here.
Anyways, I wrote down.
Oh my god! And he's gonna scurry across somewhere where he's gonna like pass through a building or
Yeah.
something like that, and some like evil like lady in like a shawl is gonna
Yeah.
look at him and go, ugh, and she's gonna turn around and she's making the amulet. Oh yeah.
Rude fucking doll. There's an outlet on the floor. Mm-hmm. The laptop is plugged in. Mm-hmm. She's ass naked, using the laptop,
Next to a child.
and he spills water on the floor, and she gets cooked.
Well, you gotta remember this is 2013.
When laptops worked like that?
I don't know. I'm kidding.
That's never worked.
Yeah, no. She gets so unbelievably cooked, and
Yeah.
she's like frozen in place just looking at him cooking.
Yeah. Like, the bare minimum of, like, legally being allowed to be sold in America is if you spill water on it, it should probably break and not electrocute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
that's how it works.
Save for power tools that you plug in, yeah.
Yeah. Or,
And a
like,
toaster.
Yeah, toaster in the bath. But I'm sure at this point, I would bet money that, like, they probably have found out a way to, like, make that not. Does that even work? Have they ever myth busted that? Have they ever myth busted?
Go turn that tub on right now.
Type in right now.
That's
If
what
I
I'm
drop the.
Our mic.
Because that's the thing, is like, does microwave really.
Still dangerous.
Or ever.
In water.
Has that ever worked?
Oh, I typed in microwave, and the first thing from tasting.com is an article called "Why is it so dangerous to microwave water?" I'd really like to know now, so I'm gonna go ahead and bookmark this, and I'll get back to you later. Toaster in water, real? Question mark. From a brief glance at a 13-year-old Reddit comment that I'm reading, So don't take this as gospel. Nobody listening to this, just drop a toaster or in the microwave, a toaster in the bathtub to see if it works. This person says the reason you are required to put a GFI outlet or breaker in the bathroom or kitchen is because when an application fails and the live/hot wire shorts to the application metal case, where you drop it in a pool of water, the current flows from hot to the ground. So I think that means that the plugs in a bathroom and a kitchen shut off when that happens, so you won't electrocute yourself. But plug the bad boy in the living room, get an extension cable, throw it in the bathtub.
You're in business.
You're cooked.
But laptop don't do this. Mainly because it's just the outlet and the cord that's getting wet. You get what I'm saying? Whatever. Who gives a fuck? So she fries herself. He fries her.
She's dead.
She's dead. So, up next, I wrote down, because the next thing I can remember being notable, really. Whatever. They can't find the kid. They're looking around for the kid, which creates this thing where, like, the husband thinks that wheelchair Nika is the one that, like, maybe did something with the kid.
Oh, because everyone's dead by that point.
Right, and she knows that Charles Lee Ray is in the doll's body, because Charles Lee Ray used to be their, like, neighbor or something, and, like, I guess he also, whatever. We'll get there. She's in the garage getting carbon monoxide by Chucky, and I love when she finally gets in the car and like grabs for the keys, and then he swallows the fucking keys. That's the kind of dastardly shit.
I missed that.
Oh, yeah. Pull the movie up.
I'm looking at it right now.
Go to the car scene.
Gulps.
See, that's the kind of shit that I want my Chucky to get up to. Yeah. More of that. Great. Way more of that.
Way more of that.
So
also,
anyways.
I really like when God of War mom brings him up to the attic.
Yeah.
She's looking at his mouth. I was like, did he like bite somebody and he's got like a little flesh on him? But I really like where she peels away the new pieces of face that he put on to cover up to let you know, hey, this is a sequel. Yeah. It's not a fucking. It's great.
It's not
it's
a remake.
Great. I
it's
like
just
it.
Kind of an offshoot.
I gotta tell you, I love fucked up looking Chucky. I think he looks so good.
Yeah, and I didn't really care for Chucky too much in the beginning in terms of how he looked, but he also didn't look terrible. Mm-hmm. But then by the time that he reveals, I'm like, no, this is a good look. It looks just like less 90s.
Yes.
It's the same, but it just looks a little cleaned up.
Yes.
It's not bad. But yeah, then this is the point. They get a bunch of flashbacks with like him having kidnapped the mom and like all the sunflowers. And at this point, this is when I wrote down, I don't like Charles Lee Ray. They make him like an unhinged, pathetic, like long legs, sad, like real life murderer. Where he's like obsessed with her and he's like, these aren't even unseasoned. These were hard to find. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of a thing. Where it's like, this isn't Charles Lee Ray, you know? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or it's like Charles Lee Ray is like a Jack Nicholson kind of character. Like, I don't buy that this Charles Lee Ray, the one that's like weirdly obsessed with like getting all these sunflowers for this pregnant girl that he's kidnapped, is the same one that's like running away from the cop. Like, oh, you cocksucker! Like, you know, shooting guns in Chicago.
Yeah, it happens immediately, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And also, I do not buy, I know this isn't the point that you're making, that you would see this man living next door to you and think, hey, come on over.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Where, like, the characterization in this flashback makes him a totally different person, which I understand because they were intentionally like, let's make Chucky scary again.
Yeah.
But that's not the right kind of scary. He's scary in an unhinged, like, unpredictable way, not in, like, I've got these flowers for you, like, creepy way. Are you looking at it right now?
Is he her father?
I don't know. You want to pause and watch the scene real quick? It's a quick flashback scene.
It's not. I feel like it goes on forever. I might have been.
Well, let me look at the Wikipedia thing.
Okay, she was already pregnant when he's there, when he meets them for the first time. Okay. What he did do is he stabbed mom in the tummy, which made baby paralyzed, which I don't think that's how that works.
No. Chucky explains that when he was human, he was a friend of the family and in love with Sarah. In 1988, he murdered Nika's father and kidnapped Sarah, but was found by the police. Believing Sarah led them to him, Charles stabbed the pregnant Sarah in the stomach, resulting in Nika's paraplegia. But yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, because he's like mad at her. He's like, why would you tell the police about us? We had our secret little thing. Why would you tell them? You know, it's like, I don't like this, Charles Lee Ray. Not good. Anyways, in the ensuing struggle, Nika gets the upper hand and stabs Chucky. However, he reanimates as Stratton arrives. I'm assuming Stratton must be a cop.
Yeah.
Nika is arrested, found guilty of the murders, and is institutionalized. Stratton leaves to deliver Chucky to an unknown buyer, only to be murdered by Tiffany Valentine, who mails Chucky to Alice. Don't know who Alice is.
Alice is the little girl.
Alice, right. Chucky begins to enact a voodoo chant to transfer his soul into Alice's body.
Did not know there was a post.
I wasn't able to watch it because Netflix does that stupid shit where as soon as the credit starts, it's like,
Shucks.
let's watch another movie, buddy.
I saw someone post a video of them watching fucking Psycho.
Yeah.
On Apple TV, and where the end, it's him smiling at it. It just goes to smile. Like that sucks.
It's egregious. It's one of my least favorite things about streaming is how quickly they're like, watch 2.5 Men, and it's like, no, fucking goddamn.
Never. I'm never gonna do that.
Yeah. But yeah, it says. I mean, you could try to pull it up, and we could watch it right now. But the text on Wikipedia says, in a post-credit scene, Chucky is mailed to Charles Barkley. Now an adult, however, Andy surprises him first and shoots him with a shotgun. You watched it?
No, you said Charles Barkley.
That's funny.
Okay, so we just pulled the movie back up. That was a lie. There is no post-credit scene on Netflix. Curse of Chucky and...
I'm going to read you the first paragraph from the reception part of this film. And just to let you know, I disagree wholeheartedly. First of all, the film has a 75% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Crazy.
Has generally positive reviews. With the site's critics' consensus stating, quote, the franchise hex of disappointing sequels is broken by going back to basics in this chilling entry, restoring a sense of playfulness to the Chucky saga. For like 3 things. 1, the hex of disappointing sequels. This thing's had like 4 decent bangers, I'd say.
Playfulness.
The last 2 were super playful. This wasn't playful at all.
The last one, a doll takes off the shirt, little doll boobs come out. How is that not
that's
playful?
Way more playful. An earlier review posted on Bloody Disgusting was very favorable, stating Curse of Chucky may just be the best home video sequel since Wrong Turn 2. It's alarmingly good, which puts pressure on Universal to answer as to why they didn't let Mancini shoot this for theaters. Crazy. I think I watched the film and I understood exactly why this thing went straight to video.
Mm-hmm.
Chucky fans should rejoice. Curse of Chucky is clearly going to reignite the franchise for years to come. Well, it did do that. Ryan Larson of Shock Till You Drop wrote, the movie does so much right that it's easy to overlook the very few flaws it has. I think that's horribly wrong. The pacing and writing coincide to create a fun, blood-soaked jaunt that never gets boring or dull. It stayed boring or dull from the word go. Goes on to praise the director, pointing out that Mancini, pulling double duty as writer, does a great job at introducing and ushering off characters in a fashion that doesn't bog the film down with a bunch of characters that get 3 minutes of film time before getting the axe or butcher knife in this case. While I know exactly what you're saying, I'm going to say that it does bog the film down. I know that's not specifically what he's saying, but the kills are kitschy, but in the best way possible. Waxing nostalgic of slasher films in the early 80s or late 80s and early 90s. Are they kitschy? I don't remember none of these kills stand out for me, really.
She electrocuted by a laptop.
Yeah, that stands out to me in a horrible way. It's a piece of shit kill. In Brazil, Chucky inspired 2 episodes of the Hidden Camera show. Great. So yeah, I disagree with that all, like, wholeheartedly, top to bottom, personally.
Yeah.
None of that was
I found the thing. Do I watch it?
accurate to my experience.
Package for you.
Really?
Maybe you want something?
Must be my lucky day.
You ever have a conversation at all with a delivery person? Okay.
It was good up until the play with them.
Yes, I was going to say, that was the best part of this movie.
For sure.
Him coming out of the box with the mischievous Woody the Woodpecker music.
Yeah,
Great. Also, I liked that at the end, it's the cop in the bag with Chucky going to sell it to somebody.
Yeah.
Like the beginning of Bride of Chucky.
Right.
And then, like I said at the beginning of this, I love Jennifer Tilly. I liked watching her pop up at the end of this. But it was strange.
Because wouldn't she be Jennifer Tilly now?
I mean, she is.
And not Jennifer Valentine is what I'm saying. But they bill her as Jennifer Valentine. But she is. Her soul is in the body of Jennifer Tilly is what I'm saying.
Yes.
So that would be Jennifer Tilly doing the murder?
It's Tiffany in the body of Jennifer Tilly.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
She comes into this with the exact same energy as Seed of Chucky. Because why wouldn't she? She has not...
She doesn't know what they just did.
Exactly. Real life Jennifer Tilly has not seen the rest of this movie, so she was probably like, "Oh, hell yeah, I'll come in for a couple minutes to do a..."
Yeah.
And came in with that, and is the best part of this movie because it reminds me of the last movie. So it like really took me out of it, but it made me go, "I'd like to see the next one."
Yeah, I'm not even trying to be mean. This is an F for me.
Yeah, I'd give this one an F.
I do not like
Absolutely.
this at all.
I am, though, wildly curious about Cult.
Yeah, Cult. So next episode is going to be Cult and the Mark Hamill remake.
Sadly, yeah.
So yeah, I'm really blown away by the positive reviews for that. Not to say that like I hate the. I'm not trying to be like everybody should be bullying this movie, but it's just crazy to hear like.
I was pretty disappointed by it.
Like that review that said like it's so shockingly good. I can't understand why Universal didn't send this to the theaters. Run the tape back, buddy. Watch this one more time, and you try to tell me why you think this thing didn't make it to the fucking theaters.
Whoa.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I'm glancing the Wikipedia page for the next one. How does this movie end? Chucky begins to.
Cult.
Oh, okay. Chucky begins to enact voodoo chant to transfer his soul into Alice's body. Okay, that's how Curse ends.
Right.
Can I read you a one-sentence spoiler for the next movie that really got me?
Sure. I mean, I've watched people talk about this film before, so I don't remember, but I kind of know. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Nika is visited by Tiffany Valentine, the legal guardian of her niece Alice, and is devastated to learn that Alice has died.
Huh. Interesting.
How does Tiffany become...
We'll have to find out next time, man.
I guess I'll have to find out next time.
So yeah, we'll see. We're gonna watch these two movies, and then if I were to bet, man, I'd say that I predict that you will be watching some episodes of the Sci-Fi show.
I'll for sure I'll watch one.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
See how I feel. My concern is is it gonna be on Netflix? Because if it's not, I don't want to go like sign up for Sci-Fi streaming.
Oh, it's got it. Ooh, I was gonna say it's probably on like Peacock or some shit.
Yeah. Well, I think that wraps up the third episode of our Halloween. Are we ever gonna like give a name to like when we do the Halloween franchise thing?
Eating spooks alone.
Oh, that's that mattress, man.
Ooh, nailed it.
If you need more soup, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, or go to our website, eatingsoupalone.com. And until next time,